Sixers fans, welcome back. What a game last night. Look, I apologize I didn't stream. I had a pretty ridiculous day. I did not expect my energy to be good enough to be able to really provide a good, entertaining stream to you guys. But next game, hey, I'll stream, all right? Let's talk Nets, and let's talk, can Joel Embiid still win the MVP? Because I think it's a genuine question. I think there's a question about it. Let's talk about it. But before getting into it, hit the subscribe button. Like the video, share it with your friends. Guys, I'm over 700. I have an awesome surprise coming at 1K. So get me to 1K, guys. Get me to 1K. Please. That being said, let's get into it. Let's talk Sixers. Embiid has been unbelievable lately. He's basically exactly where he left off before injury, and it's on a smaller minute size, which is really impressive, man. He dominated Brooklyn last night. He put up a lot of shots, but dude, that's what we got to do. We got to feed the beast, you know what I mean? Actually, before even talking about Embiid, I just want to say Tobias Harris had a really good game yesterday. Ben Simmons played really well. I wish he could hit free throws more consistently, but you know what? It's okay. He hit them when we needed him in the fourth quarter. Korkmaz had a pretty good game. Shake Milton is the man, dude. Shake Milton had another great game. He's been awesome. His shot looks really good. If Shake Milton and Seth Curry can be really good shooters, the Sixers are going to be really hard to beat because Danny Green has been the epitome of consistency this year. He's been awesome, and the Sixers have to re-sign him. I'm going to talk about that in a video later on this week, so stay tuned for that. But Embiid put up an awesome game, bro. He had 39 last night. He did 39 in like 34 minutes, I think it was. And since returning from his injury, he's basically had one bad game. And since returning from his injury, he is averaging 29 points, 8.6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks, which is insane. And it's under 30 minutes. He's doing all of that under 30 minutes. He's averaging 29 minutes a night since his injury. And it is unbelievable, man. Embiid is the most dominant player in the NBA right now, and he has been all season long. And whether or not he wins the MVP or not, I don't think there's a debate when the question is asked of who is the most dominant player when healthy on the court. That's Embiid, without a doubt. If Embiid never got hurt, the MVP would be in the bag. He's missed 18 games this year, which really hurts his chances because for some reason in the NBA, you have to play every single game or close to it to be considered an MVP, which to me doesn't really make any sense, especially nowadays with condensed scheduling, with protocols and everything going on, and how bad the NBA has been with dealing with those issues. To me, it's stupid. And it's archaic. So maybe after this year, the NBA takes a look at really what's going on deep down because there needs to be change. The last 3 games, Embiid has had 27 points, 36 points, and 39 minutes, and has only played over 30 minutes in one of those games. Unbelievable. And if he didn't play the fourth quarter last night, it would have been another 30-plus point game in under 30 minutes. I mean, Embiid is just efficient. He's dominant. He shoots better than anybody from the mid-range, and he is a legitimately insane free throw shooter. And I think his free throw shooting is such an underrated improvement in his game. He's always been a good one, right? He's always been a good free throw shooter, but not to this level. And it's a reason as to why he scores so much. I mean, he gets to the line more than anybody. He makes more free throws than anybody, and he's averaging 30 points a game on the season, so that's a lot to thank to there. But deep down, I think it's going to be really tough for Embiid to win the MVP. But regardless, I think he's going to get first place votes nonetheless. And I think that because his dominance has become polarizing in the NBA. I mean, he is a polarizing athlete in the NBA right now. He's having fun, and he is the best player in the league. He is the best player in the league. And when it comes down to who's having the best season, it's a simple and easy question. I think Embiid is surefire the best player in the NBA this year. And you look at Jokic and you compare Jokic and Embiid, and Jokic is a much better passer, and his offensive IQ is much better, and he is probably a better three-point shooter. I mean, he is a better three-point shooter. He's a better shooter than Embiid. But the thing with Embiid is he is a better scorer. Jokic has all of that, but he's not as good of a scorer as Embiid because Embiid is just an absolute force. I mean, he's just a dominant force. He goes and gets his bucket at any point in time. He bullies anybody in the NBA. There's absolutely no one who can guard him. And the biggest difference between Embiid and Jokic is not on the offensive end because they're not too far apart. The biggest difference is the defensive end. Jokic is not a good defender. He's just not. And he's not terrible, but he's definitely not good. Joel Embiid, on the other hand, is an all-NBA first-team type of defender. He is utterly phenomenal. He is an anchor. He is a defensive anchor. He is one of the best defenders in the NBA. Without Ben Simmons, if Ben Simmons wasn't on the Sixers, Embiid would be getting much more praise for a Defensive Player of the Year because of how unreal he is. I mean, we've had games where Ben Simmons is the only guy on the team and Embiid's out, and our defense is just brutal. And that's no disrespect to Ben Simmons, because I think Ben Simmons is probably a Defensive Player of the Year guy this year, but Embiid is also that. Embiid is arguably the best interior defender in the NBA. Him and Rudy Gobert make a genuine case for 1 and 2, and Joel Embiid is just on both ends. And that's what separates him from Jokic on my perspective. Jokic can give 100% energy to offense and 50% energy on defense. Embiid gives 100 and 100. You don't see that very often. You don't see dominant players on both ends of the court like that. I mean, Giannis is pretty dominant on both ends of the court, and I think Giannis is a possibility for MVP, but I think 3 years in a row, nah, they're not going to give it to Giannis. And I think, who I said before the season started in my preseason predictions, was Steph Curry. And Steph Curry over the last 9 games has been historic Steph Curry. And if Embiid doesn't win it, I would like to see Steph Curry win it, because I think Steph Curry is the most valuable player in the NBA with Embiid. I think they mean the most to their teams. Without Steph Curry, that Warriors team, you know what that Warriors team is. They win 10 games. Steph Curry has been an utter brilliant artist on the court. I mean, he's doing things that we thought he would never do again, and he clearly is still in his prime. It's interesting. I just think that the debate is really, really interesting, because regardless of win or loss, I think Embiid will get first place votes, and I think this will be a conversation for years to come about the MVP that never was, really. It was the MVP that was deserved to a different guy, and he just didn't get it because of injuries. And if you look at Embiid's career, it's so ironic. Look at the Rookie of the Year. I mean, he easily won that. He only played 30 games, and they didn't give it to him because of injuries. This year, he's an MVP, absolute dominant MVP player, and he's probably not going to win it because of injuries. You know, it's just interesting. It's interesting how injuries have kind of taken away his personal accolades, and I feel bad for the guy big time. But I also would really, really like to see maybe Finals MVP given to Embiid this year, because that will make everything right. A Finals MVP is more important than an MVP. Ask Giannis, because Giannis probably will never get a Finals MVP. I don't know about that. That's a really cold take, probably. But this is my go out and vote for Joel Embiid writers. I don't know. Peace out. Go Sixers.